Shabbos. This Shabbos is Tisha B'Av. It's the ninth day of Av. It's the saddest day in the Jewish calendar. But because it's Shabbos, we don't fast, we don't mourn. We keep it as Shabbos, a joyous day. The fast is pushed off to Motzei Shabbos, Saturday night and Sunday. And so this is when we commemorate these terrible events that happened in Jewish history. We're told that when Vespasian, the Roman general, came to quash the revolt of the Jewish people at the time, before the destruction, he did so in all the different cities around Judea. And then he finally arrived closer to Jerusalem. But he told his soldiers he's in no rush. And the reason he wasn't in a rush is the following. There were very many different groups of Jews in Jerusalem at the time, each one with their own opinion. And they were actually fighting with each other to the extent they were literally killing each other. And so Vespasian said, if I go against them now, they're all going to unite against me. But if I leave it, then they're going to kill each other and become weaker. So when we go in, be easy. Piece of cake. Unfortunately, that was true. And that's why we're told that the reason the temple was destroyed because there was baseless hatred. No one could get along, to the extent that there were enough storehouses to feed the entire city and all its inhabitants for 21 years. There were wealthy Jews who were ready to support the basic staple needs. For 21 years, every member of the city of Jerusalem. But the zealots wanted so much that people should get up and fight that they burnt down these storehouses. And indeed, when the Romans came in, they found a emaciated, hungry, tired population, and it was easy for them to be victorious. What does it tell us? It tells us that the reason why we weren't in Jerusalem is not because the Romans are stronger, but because we couldn't get along with each other. Think about it practically. Let's say, there's this, before I get to the let's say, there's a Temple Institute in Jerusalem, the old city of Jerusalem. There are institutes that are working on the design of the temple. They have it all planned out. They know exactly how they will build their temple. They've already made the vessels. You can go down go down the hill in the old city to get to the Kotel. There's this beautiful menorah of gold in case that they would literally bring and put in and use right away in the Holy Temple. All the vessels are made. There are museums that show that the vessels were made, except for the ark. They've put together the incense offerings, having it already. There's yeshivas, a teres kohanim in Jerusalem, who are preparing kohanim for when the avodah, for when we will need the kohanim to do their service in the temple. It's already all prepared. So imagine if the Muslims allowed us to build the temple on Temple Mount. Not going to get into, but imagine that would happen. And they'd say, okay, you could put the temple here. Other things have happened that were quite surprising. So they acquiesce and allow us to do so, and we have no fights, and it's smooth sailing. And we build a temple. What would happen then? Will we have peace? Will we get along? Will the different groups of Jews be able to be committed to one another and allow the service to run smoothly? That is the question we have to ask as we come to this day of Tisha B'Av. Because if we want to reverse the cause of the destruction and bring Mashiach and bring a new temple in Jerusalem, we first have to deal with the baseless hatred, as we discussed in the past, and actually achieve baseless love. Baseless love means that we love someone because they are fellow Jews, even if we don't see a logical reason for us to love them. to do them a favor, even though they might not be worthy of it in our eyes. And we would go out of our way for another, just because that's how we rebuild the temple. What do you mean that's how we rebuild the temple? Certainly, that's how God is happy to give us the temple, but also that's when we can have a temple that lasts, that doesn't get destroyed. The Torah tells us that the place of the temple is called the Nachala, the inheritance. The verse says, "Kilei basam adata el hamenucha vel hanachala." You have not yet come to the place of rest and the place of inheritance. So Rashi tells us the place of rest, that's Shiloh. That was a place that there was a mishkan there, a tabernacle for 369 years. And Nachala, that's Jerusalem. Now in the Talmud, there's an opinion that both of them, the Menucha and the Nachala, the place of rest and the place of inheritance, is Jerusalem. Why does Rashi tell us that Shiloh is the Menucha, the place of rest? Because as long as the temple stood in Jerusalem, for the first two temples, there was no rest. No rest because they were fighting with each other. The only way we're going to have an eternal temple in Jerusalem is if we can learn to get along with each other. Therefore, King David says in Tehillim, Zois menuchasi adayan. This is my place that I will reside in peace forever. So the Rebbe tells us, when could we reside in the temple? Forever? When we have peace, when we get along. So as we get to this day of Tisha B'Av, this sad day in the Jewish calendar, let us commit and do things, get out of our way to look out for somebody else. Baseless, no reason for it, only so we express a love for our fellow Jew, and may Hashem look down on us with love and transform this day, the sad day of Tisha B'Av, that's going to be Saturday night, from a day of sadness to a day of joy, to actually a Yom Tov, a Jewish holiday. Good Shabbos.